Anyway, again, y'all, I am your boy Rob. We have the JennDanielle experience. That's the last time I'm going to say that name. I don't even say my long names like Points Play Travel and the Points Play PBE or PBT. So I'm just going to say Jen. Y'all can say what y'all want to say. So y'all, but again, we have the traveling social content. And I'm telling you, if you want thorough reviews of any ship that's out there, and I'm gonna get in my questions, check out the JennDanielle experience because her videos are extremely thorough. Now, what I want to do right now, Jen, if you don't mind, can you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and uh not too much because I have questions, but what do you do? What is the JennDanielle experience? And just a little bit, just a
Okay.
bit. And I'm gonna give you center stage, but I'll be right here.
All right. Well, thank you, Rod. I appreciate you for having me. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. I am Jennifer. I just go by Jennifer Jen. Sometimes I get called Danielle, but that's actually my middle name. So I actually go by Jen. But I am, as Rod says, social media content creator. I consider myself to be a cruise creator, travel influencer, travel agent, and pretty much just doing everything within the travel industry that makes money. So I got my start about 3 years ago. I'm coming actually up on 3.5 years now. Just by taking my first solo trip and just daring to get on YouTube. And from that first vlog series, I started to see a little bit of traction. And I've never been the person that really liked to be on camera. So it was really different and really unexpected for me to kind of be where I am now. But after doing that first series, I was like, I just really like sharing information. And I think that's kind of what I try to base my brand on across the board is helping people and just sharing information I know. So I consider myself to be a little bit more of an educator than anything, but that's pretty much everything I do. You can see me doing a little bit of everything.
And she's not joking because watching her videos, she does a little bit of everything. And I was like, man, and it was certain things that I look for when I'm researching for uh, uh, not just a live stream, but an interview. And I was like, man, I can't pinpoint certain things because have you ever been told that you're kind of dynamic? You're like, it's almost like you could fit in anywhere.
Well, thank you. I mean, I think that's a compliment. I
It
feel like
is.
I have kind of struggled with gaining my footing on being able to say exactly what it is I do because it feels exactly like it sounds. I feel like I do everything. So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I guess that's a great thing, a great trait to have.
It is. It is. And one of the questions I have, where are you originally from?
Memphis.
Memphis.
Yep. So I know
And
you're a neighbor. Now, where are you from?
I'm from Arkansas originally.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Woo
Cool.
pig suey or something like that.
What part of Arkansas?
Oh man, I hate when people ask. I was just talking to my buddy about this the other day. So I'm about 86 miles southeast of Little Rock.
Okay, okay.
It's a little small town, about 5,000 people called Dumas.
Never heard of it. So
Yeah,
everything in
that's
Little
why I
Rock.
don't tell nobody that because everybody, yeah, never heard of that. Yeah, okay, well, Little Rock, 86 miles,
Okay.
and then I moved to Cali once I graduated. Well, I attended college for a year, but I didn't go to class, and then I moved to Cali after joining the military, and so I'm kind of the best of both worlds. Country
Okay.
boy, somewhat city, and you mix them together, and you got Rod. So,
All right. I hear you. I
and
hear you.
you're currently in Atlanta, right?
Right.
Was that a big difference? Because I went to Memphis one time. I don't know about that, man. I don't know
Yeah.
about that.
Memphis is different. I will say for me, it didn't feel like a really big adjustment. Atlanta was my dream city to live in. So I've wanted to live here since I was probably like 10. So I grew up in kind of the Sierra, Lil Jon era. So when I saw the music and all the life that was popping out here, I've wanted to live here forever. So for me, I would come out here every chance that I could get. Like I used to always catch the mega bus and come out and spend a weekend and just explore. And I really liked seeing just, Black business booming out here. So Atlanta for me kind of felt like a natural move. And so I moved with the job I previously had.
Mhm.
And so the first opportunity I had, I knew I wanted to be here. So this has been home for 7 years now. So But I spend so much time in Memphis still. All of my family is there. So I honestly feel like I live in both cities.
Yeah, and I was going to ask, do you have any family in Atlanta?
No, none in Atlanta. Everybody is in Memphis.
And that's what I did when I joined the Navy. I went to San Diego, and I didn't know anybody, didn't have any family, and it was a two-sided coin. It had its pros and it had its cons. Pros, no one, they could call me and ask me for something, but I had to mail it. It take 38 days to get there. By then you won't need it.
Yeah.
And then the cons is you miss your family, you miss the people you grew up with. So
yeah. And I think that's why solo travel for me has been such a natural jump, because I live, in a city by myself, and it's something that I've done for the longest. I used to come out here and visit Atlanta by myself. So I think it was kind of natural for me to fall into solo travel. And I really didn't understand, that people really struggle with it and have, concerns about eating alone and doing things by themselves. But that's pretty much been my life, since I've lived here.
So that's a good segue. And my questions for anybody that's never been in one of my interviews or conversations is, I may jump all over the place because I don't like people to anticipate my questions. This is not scripted. She don't even know the questions that I'm going to ask her. And we got a comment here from Why Loves to Motivate. Let me pull it up before I get into. Actually, before I pull it up, so I don't forget. Now I know you moved from Memphis to Atlanta, so from a city to a bigger city.
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide the solo cruise. What made you just want a solo cruise? And when I asked that question, one of the reason I'm asking it, was it because you're not tied down with people or events or schedules? You can kind of do what Jennifer or Jen wants to do?
It was a little bit of everything. So it's really kind of a funny story as to how I actually got started. So my very first cruise I went on with someone I was dating. And if you guys know anything about when you travel with somebody, you learn if you all can coexist. Well, that trip taught me I could not coexist with that person. So on a trip, you can't travel with everybody. So after that, I did a girls' trip. And it was kind of the same situation. Now, I know you all may listen and think I'm the common denominator, but these were two very distinctive situations that I was not at fault for. So I started kind of eyeing doing a cruise right before 2020. Ironically, like it was March of 2020, I was planning to go on a cruise. And we know what happened, later in the month in March. Right. And the reason why I really liked it was because I didn't grow up traveling. My parents, we just couldn't afford to travel. It never was a priority. And so knowing that you could see multiple places in one swoop was what really attracted me to cruising. And for me, when it comes to travel, the thing that I'm most afraid of is my driving, because I am not the best driver. I'll say that. And I don't like hopping in and out of Ubers and, navigating public transportation. So for me, cruising only seemed like it made sense because I would get to go to multiple places as someone who hadn't been a lot of places, and because I wouldn't have to do the driving. So that was what attracted me to cruising first. And so I did my first one right after everything kind of let up from the pandemic in November of 2021. And I've been cruising ever since.
Wow. How many cruises have you been on?
I have been on number 23 in June. So yeah.
23.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I've been on one.
You gotta catch up. You gotta catch up, right?
I might get to two, or maybe three, but I don't know, man. We'll get to that in a minute. Because I want to I'm looking at an hour or less. I want to keep these tapered down to a time respecting y'all's time as well as the people that watch it on the replay. Why Loves to Motivate said that was me. I always wanted to go to ATL. It's why I would have loved to live. Wish I would have moved there instead of Arizona.
I've heard good things about Arizona. I have not visited yet, but I do want to. I've heard that it's really pretty too.
Oh, it's really pretty. It's hot, but it's nice. I like the city. If they could just take away the weather, it would be like a perfect. To me, it didn't seem too hard to get around. Mm-hmm. I only saw like two freeways, a 10 and a 17, I think. And then when you get out of town, but then I went to this tent city or something. I wasn't ready for that. I don't know what that was about, but one of my biggest shorts I ever had, but it was crazy. But
Oh, wow.
so solo cruising, it kind of came from experiences, and you just like forget that. I'm just gonna roll by myself. So
Mm-hmm.
okay. And 23 cruises. So what would you tell a solo cruiser? Somebody that's thinking about it and they watch one of your videos and reach out to you and say, Jen, I love your channel. What advice would you give to a solo cruiser?
The first thing I would say is it's really not as bad as you think that it's going to be. Like the biggest hurdles that you have to get over are really kind of the eating by yourself, being used to being by yourself. Once you can get over those two, you'll be fine. And usually with people who have never done it before, I tell them like begin in your hometown. See if you can spend a weekend like staying at a hotel or doing something by yourself during the day where you don't have access to your phone. Because that's the biggest difference when it comes to being on a cruise ship is, if you don't have Wi-Fi, you aren't going to have a way to communicate and call people on the phone or be on TikTok, Instagram, and all that. Now, I have to have Wi-Fi when I'm on the ship. I can't completely disconnect. But for someone who is trying to see, like, would you like to solo travel? I would say start in your hometown. Like, go to a bar, go to a pool, or do something that is near you before you start spending that cruise money and decide you hate it. Just check out something local and see how you feel spending that time and just kind of build yourself up. Because honestly, that's what I feel like it is. It's almost like Lego blocks where you just build yourself up. And the more you do, the more confident you'll get in the abilities and you can do it longer and longer. Like I started out with a 7-day cruise and that was too much to do for the first one. But it worked for me because I knew I liked cruising. But I tell people start with a short one, like do a 3-day, 4-day. They have 2 days sometimes. So start with a short one after you kind of see how you feel doing things in your hometown and then just kind of graduate up.
Well, I like that advice because, I did a 4-day cruise and I thought that was a good time. I think that was me and I's cruise was 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And probably about the third day, I was starting to get bored because I spent 20 years on a ship. No, we didn't own ships. We didn't have bars and all that stuff. But I couldn't get that out of my head. I couldn't get I'll tell you what scared me more than anything. I thought it was going to be the water.
Okay.
I didn't like the gangway because on a Navy ship, you cross a brow that's maybe 10 feet. Or, no, it's more than that. It's probably 10 yards.
Uh-huh.
You don't walk in a big old maze and all I'm doing is looking at water. I can't swim. I was in the Navy and can't swim.
Well, right, I'm going to give you some advice that I tell everybody who is afraid of the water. If you can't, whether you can swim or not is irrelevant if you hit that water. So it don't even matter. Your goal needs to be to stay on the ship, stay out the water. So that's all I can tell you.
That's what I told them in the Navy. If I fall in there, it don't matter if I can swim because you got to stay out there. If they don't see you, stuck. You got to be able to float. But what really scared me, Jen, was the muster station.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to explain this to you real quick, and I want all y'all cruisers to think about this the next time y'all go. I've been on an abandoned ship drill, many of them.
Mm.
I can't, and everybody was sober. I think everybody was sober. And we still had an issue. Now, when they go to their muster stations, half the people drunk, so they don't remember their muster station. Then, if they say, abandoned ship, half the people gonna be drunk. They ain't gonna even hear it. It's gonna be a disaster. Then the elevator's gonna be slow.
You can't worry about everybody else as long as you know where you gotta go and you know that you can jump over some people. You gotta stay sober enough to know that you're gonna jump over some people. I'm gonna be in the lifeboat if we got to get in it. So I don't even worry about it. But you really have nothing to worry about. I mean, there are so many cruises that go out every single day. They have these processes in place, and it's very rare that you need to do that. So, so I'm just kind of joking, but I will say, it has crossed my mind, and you do need to take it serious when you first get on the ship. Get your muster drill done, and make sure you remember those processes and pay attention. Even after the number of cruises I've been on, I still try to pay attention and keep that in mind because if you need it, you don't want to not know that information.
Right. And Why Loves to Motivate says you cannot travel with everybody. Facts. And in
Yeah.
response to what you were saying earlier, welcome in, Lisa J. Stocks. We got the wonderful Evolving with Etta.
Hey, Etta girl.
Etta was looking out for me on my one and only cruise, her and Elevate with Vern, and
Mm-hmm.
they made sure I was all right. Even when I was trying to sleep, they made sure I was all right. So, glad to have you here. And while I was motivated, I took a book with me when I travel or go anywhere by myself. I take a book with me
Yeah.
when I go by myself. And that's a good idea. Uh, I'm too nosy. I can't read, man. I'm too nosy. I want to see what's going on. We got your favorite couple in the house.
YFC, what's up, family?
We got Shelton and Key in the crib. They say good evening at the Points Blank Experience. Why Love to Motivate, Lisa J. Stocks, JennDanielle, and if I would Etta and Chad. What's up? YFC is in the building. The cruisers of the cruising. And everybody's speaking. I'm gonna skip some of those because I am on a time constraint, and then we had some technical whatever was going on. All right. And YFC says it's always a blast cruising with the fam, the JennDanielle. So it's always, he's saying that it's always a blast cruising with you, Jen. So how many times do you know, just off the top of your head, how many times have you ran into YFC on the cruise?
You know, the thing about YFC, they don't announce that they're coming. So I could not tell you. They just kind of show up. I distinctly remember Celebrity, and I remember being on Melanin at Sea. So I remember 2, but I feel like I've seen them at least 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Icon too. So yeah, definitely 3.
Now, do you think you went on the inaugural selling of the Icon?
I did.
You think it was
worth
worth
it?
it?
Me any Icon questions?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ask you some. I've been digging. I felt like I was on some cruises in the last couple of days. But do you think that was worth it financially? Woo! Well, I'm from in Arkansas. They say you say a whole lot, but you don't say nothing.
Okay, so it's funny that I'm being asked this question now because I just did MSC World America, and they are a mega ship. They're considered to be a mega ship too. They're a little bit smaller than Icon, but more affordable. And I've been talking about how I saw kind of the connection between the two. So I did Icon of the Seas as my first inaugural. And to be honest, I did it for the content. So I was on that cruise because that's the biggest cruise ship in the world. And, you know, I thought it was an opportunity that was really going to propel my channel. And so I spent way more than I was comfortable with spending. And I tell people, especially that want to be content creators, that you don't want to do that. You don't want to make the same mistakes. You know, first off, in any situation, you want to make the best financial decision. And as an entrepreneur, sometimes you do have to take risks. That was a risk that I took that in the beginning did not pay off for me. So as far as the ship itself, as a solo traveler, and this is one of the things that I've learned over the last year when it comes to my brand is that it's not about what I want to do. It's about what fits with my brand and what aligns with my brand. The average solo traveler is not going to be willing to spend the amount of money that I spent to get on Icon of the Seas or even want to go on that ship because that particular ship, I don't feel like it's very solo friendly. So, so in that sense, I don't feel like it was worth it for me. However, it did give me the practice I needed for this opportunity with MSC, where MSC invited me out, and I was able to repurpose that content later on, and it paid for it. It took a while to pay off, but it paid for itself. So, in my opinion, the ship itself, if you have a family, then that's what I said. I felt like Icon of the Seas is like. I feel like it's a ship where you say, hey kids, we're going on a vacation. It's, you know, for the kids, it's colorful, it's beautiful. There's so much stuff for children to do. They have an amazing like area just for the kids. But for me as a solo traveler, I don't feel like it was the best ship that I could have gone on. It's a long-winded answer, but I had to get to why I say it's not worth it for me. I think it could be worth it for someone else, for like a family, but for me, no.
Gotcha. And I like the way you approached it, though. You went on there for the content. It was more like a business decision. You know,
Right.
you went on there, yeah, I'm gonna spend this money now, but if this blow up being this the biggest ship at the time, inaugural selling, I'm
Hmm.
gonna make my money back and then some. So
Right.
okay, I see. Okay, I got to go back and watch all of that now because you probably said it in that
Oh
video.
man, I was griping because I was I didn't care for the food, and so I was not happy.
Now, what I want to do now is talk. We just talked about one of the most expensive cruises. What do you consider one of the cheapest cruise lines that a person like me, only been on one cruise, not sure if he want to go to another, don't want to spend a lot of money? What cruise line would you recommend?
I would say you never want to base your experience just on price because regardless of what the price is, you're taking time out of your life, out of your day, and this is going to be a memory that's going to create for you. That is going to create for you. And so, if you go on a particular cruise just because it's cheap and you hate it, you may never go on another cruise again. So, I say you really want to lean more towards experience than the financial aspect. But if I had to choose for like if you wanted to be financially conscious and have a good time, I would say MSC right now. I really like kind of the laid back kind of luxury feel that they have. They are a European cruise line. So the food honestly can be hit or miss. Now MSC World America, their new ship has amazing food, but some of their other ships can be hit or miss. I've only done one other one, but just kind of based on the research I've seen, that's what I'm hearing. But I think when you speak in terms of value, along with, where can you go and have a good time, get some form of entertainment and all that, I think is great. And I also think Carnival is good. So if you're someone who wants, more of that party vibe, I would say Carnival. But if you're someone who actually wants to have kind of relaxing with a little bit of party, a little sprinkle, MSC.
I like that answer. So you gave two different options. If you want to party, you go to Carnival. If you want to party a little bit and chill, MSC. And you did a video where you said MSC was affordable. That's why I asked that
Yeah.
question. And
Oh
uh,
yeah.
but I would say the seashore, you didn't like their food. I
No,
mean,
no. So what I say, I would tell anybody if you're gonna go on the seashore or any MSC ship that in World America, go ahead and get the specialty dining. But I'm a specialty dining person, so that's not a big deal for me because I don't like buffets. So I'm always a person that's gonna want to, like we talked about a little bit about the fashion piece. I'm always somebody that's gonna want to dress up and go to a nice restaurant. So I'm not kind of a sit in the food hall type of person. So it's not that big of a deal for me, but I understand for some travelers it is. So
yeah, I didn't do that specialty dining. I was cool with the main room or whatever they called it.
oh yeah, and Carnival has Gus's burgers. So as long as you have those burgers, you really can survive. So
Now, do you remember your first video that you did on YouTube? You remember what it was?
very first one. No. I don't remember the very first. It could have been, yeah, I don't know. Because I know I got into travel like before I hit a year. Could have been a product review. It's no telling.
I'm gonna tell you.
Now I'm thinking hard. Wait a minute. Was it a trip to Vegas?
I
Or
don't know. I'm asking the questions. I don't know.
I'm like,
Nah,
you
it
gonna have to
was.
tell me. Okay,
It
okay, yeah.
was. It was.
Okay, so you was like, yeah, we've come a long way. When I think about the editing on that one, I probably need to pull it off the channel.
No, you ought to see my
No, I
first
think
one.
it's fun to go back and look at. But yeah.
Your first one was the bomb compared to mine. I had lawnmowers, wind, birds chirping, dogs barking. I had every sound effect you could have, and
Oh,
they were real. It was terrible. But
oh yeah.
you went during the pandemic. What was that like? You think of Vegas, you think of it being live and people just,
Yeah.
getting the party on. What was it like during that time when you were?
Honestly, like I'm not a big partier or a gambler. Like I am an architecture person, so I love the lights. I love the aesthetic of Vegas. So honestly, like traveling there was some of my favorite times to travel when everybody wasn't out. I don't mind kind of having the city and experiencing myself because I was in the state. It was either Vegas or LA was my first one because I went to LA around the same time.
Mhm.
And that really all of that was birthed from being at home during the pandemic and just saying, if we ever get out of this house, I am going to see the world because I hadn't traveled at that time. And that was all I was thinking about was like all the things I had never done. But I actually enjoyed being able to see those cities during that time, because you really get an appreciation when you aren't like having to be so cognizant of people being around and moving out of people's way and all of that. You really kind of get to appreciate the city. So I miss those times for that. But that's all I miss from it.
Well, I tell you what, I salute you. My hat's off to you, whatever. I went one place during the pandemic, and that was to a funeral. And
Oh,
I
sorry.
did a
Yeah.
1 hour flight, first class, and the only reason I did that is so I wouldn't sit next to anyone.
Yeah.
I did. I had masks on, hoodies on.
And that was what was nice about Vegas, is that there weren't many people out, so it wasn't the need to be as cautious with the mask and all of that. So
Yeah. I just now being a traveler, and I just looked at a live today. Meet and I went live. They're on the MSC Seashore, I believe,
okay, nice.
and for their 25th anniversary. And I think they just wanted to do something quick and simple. Now, do you think the current economic situation is going to slow down travel in the next during the travel season? I mean, we're getting ready to enter the travel season. May, June, July through.
Yeah. I don't think this season is going to be affected, but honestly, somebody who is so wrapped up in someone whose income is so much wrapped up in travel, I have been kind of trying to look ahead and gauge that to see what is going to happen. Um, honestly, I'm surprised at the amount of people that are still traveling and, seem to kind of be business as usual. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but I think that we will see some impact. But if anything, we're going to see a shift. I don't think people are going to stop traveling altogether. I think that people will kind of pivot and start doing day trips. So that's something that I started doing like 2 years ago, when I was telling people to start, just flying somewhere in the morning, come back the same day, where you don't have to pay for the hotel. And I'm seeing that begin to trend right now. So I'm kicking myself, because I should have gone at it a little bit harder, because apparently now it's a whole thing. So I think we're going to see a little bit of that. I think even for me with my content, I'm shifting to doing more affordable. I've always kind of been someone that's like, I like to do nice things, but I don't like to pay for anything I do. So I've always been someone that likes to share tips for how to get things in an affordable way, whether it's booking during certain times and sales. You'll notice usually for the summertime, I don't do any travel, because that's the most expensive time. So my travel kind of dies down right now. I just happen to have a group trip coming up. And I started back traveling like the end of August, when the kids go back to school and it starts being quote unquote hurricane season, which is half the year. Deep into it. So that's when I do most of my travels, and you'll see my videos kind of crank out. So I try to be strategic with that. So I think we'll see more of that rather than people just completely stopping.
You travel during hurricane
I
season?
do a lot. And last year was a tricky one. I missed it like every time by like a day or two. So last year was tricky. But I do, because I mean, more often than not, the worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to keep you on the ship, and you're going to have more sea days, and they're going to navigate around it. And so, that's hard for someone who this is their only trip of the year, and they've saved up all year. So for them, it means a little bit more that they can't get off the ship and enjoy port. But for me, I like to be on the ship anyway. So it's fine for me.
Yeah,
I don't want to be set up too many extra days though. But
I think in my Navy career, I probably went through well over 100. I forgot what they call them. Not a tsunami. That's when it hit the land. I forgot what they call it, but it's basically a hurricane deep out in the ocean.
yeah.
And unbelievably, we headed straight for the eye, because that's where it's the calmest.
Wow.
But
That's
to
what
get there,
they say, the eye of the storm. Yeah.
to get there was something else. But people don't realize the safest place to be. Oh, I'm not traveling there in hurricane season. The safest place to be is actually on the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, why I love to motivate? See, I wish I had traveled during the pandemic. Everything was inexpensive. Was Vegas inexpensive when you went during that time?
To be honest, I went for a friend's birthday, so I don't remember exactly what we were looking at as far as price. Now, my first solo cruise was 2021, and I mean, looking at the difference there, I remember to get on the Carnival Mardi Gras, which was new at the time. I think I paid $500 for a balcony room as a solo traveler, and I have not seen anything like that yet. So it was half if not a fourth of what it is now. So.
And while I was motivated, said my sister always say we should do a day trip.
Yeah, you should.
I would be down to go somewhere for a day. And I do a lot of staycations, or I don't leave the Dallas area. I go to a different area. Dallas, the DFW Metroplex, which is actually a combination of Dallas, Fort Worth, and all the 100 cities in between.
Yeah, and you all have Houston close. You have a lot of good options that aren't that far.
Oh, yeah, that's too far from me. I've been to Houston once, and I wasn't driving. I was like, it's like 4.5. I know.
Oh, yeah. It's a flight. But I mean, like, sometimes if you aren't opposed to Spirit, like, you can get a flight with them sometimes for $30 going. Well, see, that's what I utilize. But I have a whole strategy.
Wait, whoa. You mean the solo traveler, because I know it's you, it's Sig, it's Sid with C. You be rolling with Spirit?
I sure do. They are one of the most reliable out of Atlanta, believe it or not. Next to Delta, of course. But Southwest has removed their hub from Atlanta. I'm getting ready to do Spirit a whole lot more.
Hey, I don't be hating on Spirit now. I don't be hating on them. I ain't never flew with them, but
I was Team Southwest, but they've recently done some changes and they've moved their hub out of Atlanta. Where now, in order to get to Fort Lauderdale, I have to do a layover in Houston, and I'm definitely not flying that way to come back. Like it just doesn't make sense anymore. So
Delta, you talking about Delta? No,
this is Southwest for me now. But Delta goes direct everywhere. They're just more expensive. But yeah, I will hop on. I've paid. Actually, I just for my June trip booked Spirit. Round trip was $89, and I had some points. So I actually paid $56 to get to my group trip. So, look, people can rag on Spirit all you want, but I will say I am very particular about it has to be the first flight of the day. I don't, because the thing with them is they don't have as many flights like them, Frontier, all of the carriers. But Frontier burn me. I don't do Frontier, but Spirit I'll do. But what I'll say is, like, when you go that first flight of the day, the plane is already there. With them not having as many planes, as you get later in the day, if one thing happens, it staggers off their entire day because they don't have any backup planes. So that is kind of my rule with them. They have a flight that leaves here at 5 a.m. and goes to Fort Lauderdale. And I only do morning flights too. Like I have a lot of very particular rules.
You like YFC. They be shelter to be up at 3 talking about, we flying out. We leaving at 4:30.
Yeah.
I'm like, what, 3 tomorrow afternoon? Nah, man. 4:30 in the morning. I said 3, man.
I think for me, like, I'm so anxious about when it comes to travel. If I had to wait all day, like if I have something later in the day, like even this interview, having this all day, I was like, don't forget. So I am such a morning person.
Wow.
Yep, YFC, affordable prices for hurricane season. Yep.
Yeah, and Wallace Motivate says she loves your vibe.
Thank you.
And y'all taught me something. I have yet to do a live on any of my channels where I didn't learn something. Like I never thought about hurricane season being affordable prices. I never. I knew the summer wasn't affordable.
I will tell everybody.
I thought the winter time was probably
yeah. I mean, but even the winter this year, it's been different. Like the winter lasted a lot longer than it should have this year when it came to travel. And I've seen a lot. I don't know if maybe it was people that are saying they don't know what the economic climate is going to be, so they want to hurry up and get their trip in. But I've seen more people booking trips like the first half of this year than I've ever seen. So.
And this comment is at the bottom. Fats and Teresa, they do morning flights too. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I'll go mid-morning, like 10 or 11, but 5, I barely make it on time in. I know I ain't going to try 5.
Oh, yeah. I love a good 5 flight. Get there at 7 in the morning and catch breakfast, relax. That's my type of flight. I
cussed a dude out in Miami because I was running late. He wouldn't let me go by him. Tell me, no, you got to wait. I said, man, I'm about to knock you out. And then I'm going to have a reason to be in Miami. I'm going to be in jail. So, hey, Wallace Motivate wants to know, what's your zodiac sign?
I am a Cancer. and I am true to it. I don't believe in zodiac signs, but I do believe that I am a true Cancer.
Me either, man, because they done lied to me my whole life. You know, I'm a Leo, and I used to read the newspaper way back in the day. Today you're gonna find $100. I ain't found nothing yet, man. And right there, I quit. I said, hey, and this is when zodiac signs was huge. People would actually, hey, what's your sign before they would actually name. So I ain't trying to, give my age or anything. Hey, Jen, what's your favorite platform
Ooh, I
where you
like this
get the
question.
most of your engagement involving with that?
I like this. Thank you, Etta. So it has shifted. So my favorite platform for the longest has been Instagram, but it's now YouTube. I never thought I would say that. I used to be so wrapped up in creating like those short 30-second video and talking fast and getting my thoughts out. But I realized I do like to talk on video. So it's been nice having YouTube where I don't have to chop it up. And probably YouTube is where I get the most engagement now. So it's definitely shifted. Like you guys, if you follow me, Instagram has been my baby for the longest, but I can't keep fighting for the baby who doesn't love me back. So
I like that.
the algorithm has changed a lot. There have been a lot of changes across the board. I've tried with TikTok. I'm okay over there. And I'm kind of leaning into TikTok being more of my play account where I can do some of the trends and everything. But YouTube is the platform that pays the most. They're the one where I feel that I can be the most authentic and share the most because I don't have to edit down kind of what I say or what I think of something in the moment. So, yeah.
One thing that I like about the cruising niche, uh, your favorite couple, and it's more y'all. I'm just thinking of the people that I've really, really watched. Y'all are making evergreen content, and when I say that, it's going to be good in 25. It's
Yeah.
going to be, and unless the ship decommissions, it's going to be good in 2030. And people are going to watch and watching. Jennifer might be getting YouTube checks when they ain't giving away Social Security, or even Rod, or your favorite couple. I mean,
yeah. And
that
that's definitely what I love about YouTube. And I tell creators, like, I used to be so like, get on Instagram. But Instagram, as far as what they pay you, they only pay for, they have to invite you, number one. And they invite you, give you bonuses, and it's pennies. It's nothing. Like, it's not even worth it because it's based on views. And they determine how many views you get. But when you're over on YouTube, like I have a video now that I posted last year that it's really not a video I want to trend, but for some reason it keeps randomly trending, and it's the one that's making the most money right now. So, like as kind of you spoke to about that evergreen piece of it, that's another reason why I say YouTube is king when it comes to that, because if somebody's searching for that, or for whatever reason, something can just come back and start getting you more views later on.
well, I'm gonna share something. I usually don't share my analytics with too many people. I think I've shared them with Wild Loves. I know I've shared them with Wild Loves. I've shared them with Shelton from Your Favorite Couple and Anwar from Me Tonight. My most viewed videos month in and month out since 2023 without any failure was my Carnival credit card video and my Carnival suite tour, where the video was shaking. I didn't even know I had started it, and and everybody keep watching it. I mean,
It's Carnival, and I'll say this because this is something that I'm leaning more into, wanting to help other content creators, because I know I've been a little bit secluded, and that's something that I've wanted to change this year. So that's why I was really excited when you invited me to be on the channel, because I know I'm one of those people, like I will put my head down and just work. So I want to be more accessible and kind of give more tips, because I have learned a little bit in the time that I've been creating. But when it comes to like cruises, kind of like what you asked about Icon, a lot of people think that the money is made on the biggest and the newest and being able to do the most luxury things. But it's actually going to be what the average person is going to be able to do. It's a Carnival video for me that I just cannot seem to get rid of. And it's ironic because it's not even me on the ship. So that is what I went on a Carnival cruise last year. One of the cheapest Carnival cruises, and that is my most viewed video. It was a cruise that I went on during hurricane season, called it a deal on it at the last minute, paid maybe $300 for, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't even get Wi-Fi on that one. And I came home and just talked about my experience, and that's my most viewed video. And that's the video that continues to pay me every month since I took that cruise. So, you know, if you're a content creator, you're someone who says like, I don't have the money, because this is a pay for play game. Like a lot of times you're going to put a lot of effort in. It's like not easy at all. So you're going to put a lot of time in, you're going to put a lot of effort in. And if you're in the travel niche, you're probably going to put some money in hopes of getting the views that pay you on the back end, or in hopes of it exceeding and, you know, you getting something out of it later. So start with what you have. Like, don't overextend yourself. And just think about what the normal person is doing. Like, you don't have to do the most extravagant things to get content.
And it's two people, and I know it's more than two. Etta says she loved your content, and earlier, All of My World also said she loved your content as well. And that's one of the things that, I mean, Jennifer doesn't need it. I keep going from Jen to Jennifer. Jen doesn't need it. She already have her followers. She won't get them from, you know, the Points Blank experience. But I wanted to collaborate with her because, and once I saw the videos, I was like, man, this is a lot of knowledge. And I want everybody to know that there is a person out there, not just JennDanielle, but there's Your Favorite Couple. There's a Evolving with Etta, Edna's World. There's so many people, Fats and Tree, you know, people that are in this live that are cruising, and you could get all the information. One person may hate it, the other person may love it, the other person may be in the middle, and you get different perspectives, man. And that's what I love about YouTube, the fact that there's so many ways to get different perspectives. We have this here is, boy, this is probably the best question I've seen on any of my channels in a while. Okay. I haven't found my niche on YouTube. Do you think you need to have a niche to be successful on here?
That's a tough one. I think choosing a niche will make it easier on you, because I started off with somebody that just posted a little bit of everything. And I say this from the Instagram perspective, because YouTube was kind of my secondary, that I really kind of just started hitting into. I think you have to be strategic. If you're not going to have a niche, you're going to have to be very interesting or have some reason to draw people in, because I am definitely not somebody who knows and understands why YouTube does what it does. I could post a video and it get 500 views. I could post something and it get 10,000. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason is for why they do what they do. But I think that I think it makes it easier on you to know, like, I'm going to stick to this topic. Like, I remember when my Instagram, when I couldn't get it to go anywhere, I had to tell myself, if it does not have to do with solo travel, you can't post it. So if you want to post it, you need to figure out how to wrap it up into solo travel, because you want people to come to you and know what they're looking for from you. So I think in the beginning, the most important thing is to just get content with making content. Like, get comfortable with being on camera, get comfortable with following a schedule and routine. And I'm not want to tell anybody about like a hard schedule, like every Monday, because I can't do that at this point. So, you know, just kind of get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to post something every week. And once you do that, I think you'll kind of learn what you like and what you don't like, and it'll kind of push you into your niche, if that makes sense. Rob, what do you think on that?
Great point. And I have two sides, and it seems like that happens to me a lot. But when I created the Points Blank experience, it's because I wanted a channel that didn't have a niche. Mm-hmm. I had a niche with credit and points and miles. I had a niche with finance investing, but I wanted to be able to talk about everything or anything I wanted to. Yet, if you look at the Points Blank experience, if you look at the entire channel, I'm not talking about watch the video, just look at the titles. The majority of the videos are interviews. So what I did was create a niche, thinking it wasn't going to have a niche, but I gravitated toward interviews.
Yeah.
That's the left side. Now I look at the right side of it. I watched Your Favorite Couple go from, and it may not be in the right order, road trips. How many people are doing road trips? Because the economy was changing during the pandemic. They were doing road trips instead of flying. Mm-hmm. Then they started doing home reviews. Road trips and home reviews, way two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And then they got that out there, and all of this is evergreen. Then they come up with travel and popping up on cruises. So you got Rod, who tried to create the Points Break experience. So you don't know what experience you're gonna get, but I'm gravitating toward interview. Then you got your favorite couple. They could be anywhere. They could be at the Grand Canyon. They could be. It don't even have to be travel. They could be reviewing homes. So I think at the end of the day, you're gonna have a niche. You may change niches like your favorite couple did, or Rod will do. Like I'll talk about football. I won't talk about basketball, baseball, because I'm not that big of a fan. But you will have a niche. That's so. I say yes, you should, but I also agree with get comfortable with the camera and just let people know who you are. Let people know, hey, I exist. I used to go live just to tell people I was going live on my channel. I go to their channel to say I'm going live on my own channel. Everyone clown me about that all the time. But and y'all, I am looking at the time here. I always ask this question. If you could have one day to have several conversations and talk to anybody out there, past, present, living, deceased, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a heavy hitter. Who would I want to talk to? My mind went one place and I said, no, I ain't ready for that conversation.
Well, you can. Oh, okay. Well, you can. Okay.
No, my mind went to God, but I was like, I don't want to know what's to come.
Oh yeah. I know I want to know. I don't even want to know on the day it's supposed to happen.
It would have to be somebody who I really respect the business sense of. I don't know. You know what? No. I got a different route I would go. I would want to speak to my grandmother. So I would want to ask her some questions. I think it would help me to understand some of the things within the family I deal with, and I think that would be the most beneficial thing. So I would want to speak to my grandmother. I'm gonna go the safe route.
And since you said grandmother, I'm not gonna do you like this because you had a tough time getting that one out. I always say my great grandfather, because during the Great Depression, he was wise enough to accumulate a lot of land as well as a lot of money, and he was a sharecropper. So that's someone I would want to hold a conversation. But I said, well, yeah, that's cool. But as I calmed down a lot from the rod of yesteryear, I'm starting to pay attention to more stuff. And I never thought I would say this. And I've never said it. This is the first time I said it on the Points Blank Experience. I would love to sit down for one day and talk to Malcolm X after he realized what he realized when he went to Mecca. Because he had to do an entire mindset shift. He still believed in what he believed in, but he realized what he was believing in ain't exactly what he believed in. So I mean, that's just who I would.
That's interesting. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that one. Pretty tough. That's a good question.
And why loves to motivate? I wish I could have a conversation with my dad. He passed away when I was 4. That's deep, man.
I'm sorry to hear that. Why loves to motivate? Yeah, I know that would be difficult. Yeah, I know I lost my grandmother just a couple years ago, and I now that I think back, now that you can't have those conversations, you wish you could have them.
Right. Now I want to ask. Are you a foodie or not a foodie? Because I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't gonna ask, but it's been bothering me all day. I was like, man, I don't know. And when I say foodie, y'all, that don't mean you eat a lot. That just means you like food. You might eat a little of this, but don't y'all be trying to catch me up.
I honestly do not consider myself to be a foodie. If people watch my videos, depending on which video you watch, you might feel differently. But I think it's kind of funny you said you can't really tell. Because it's funny. I honestly don't like hearing people's opinions on food. I know that people want to know, like, when I'm on a cruise, how this is, but I don't like eating on camera, and I don't like giving opinions on food, and I don't like when I'm sitting at the table with people, and then like everybody they're like, So I don't consider myself to be a foodie.
Okay. So when they do all that smacking and yeah, I don't like that part. But like my definition, I thought a foodie was just somebody that just try different things and eat it.
Yeah, like I'm open to trying different things. I guess what I mean by that is like I don't consider myself to be like a food reviewer per se.
Oh,
Yeah, because I'm not that person. Like I'm gonna try something. If I don't like it, like I'm willing to try anything one time. But you know,
gotcha. Well, I'm gonna ask you a question that I've never asked before. If it was your birthday or Christmas,
okay,
what would be your ideal gift? Not for yourself, but from someone.
a trip, a cruise. Gift me a cruise.
Well, she made that one easy, y'all. So, wow, it helped me with the time.
Did you need me to pause for a second to think on that?
Oh,
Look,
no.
okay. So let me make it a little bit more relevant. I like gift cards for trips. I like Delta gift cards. I like all types of gift cards that can be used to book trips. Like anything.
Oh,
Like I said, I don't like to pay for trips. So
hey, Elda said hashtag gift me a cruise. She
that's
proud
right.
of
Look,
that.
that needs to be on the shirt. Thank you, Ella.
Yeah, it does, man. I've
I'm
never
just trying
had
to
no
figure
one
out what
say
would I
that.
put on a shirt. That's exactly what needs to be on.
That's
Give
going to
me
be a question that I ask. I can't wait to hear the answer to that one each time. Now, do you think, now, first of all, let me ask, and I'm not trying to get personal. I think I know the answer, but I may not. Do you have any children?
no.
Okay. All right. The only reason I ask, because my next question is, do you think parenting has been replaced by technology as you
Oh,
grew?
it's so funny. I'm around such little amount of children that I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, I think it's evolved. I am in kind of that strange stage. Like I'm a millennial. I'm 35, so I was here when we didn't have the technology, and I've had to gravitate towards it. And I kind of have a love hate with it, and I love being on it to do what I do, but otherwise, I like to separate myself from it too. So I don't know. I don't know if it's been replaced.
Well, I'm going to tell you, since you don't know, and y'all, this is point blank experience. I may say a curse word, not nothing too not too much profanity, but when I was a kid, the technology was, hey Rod, sit your ass down and shut up. That was the technology. And you sat down and you got quiet. Now, instead of anything being said, people are turning around, handing a iPad or their phone. Can't even make a call because the battery drained. Because little Bobby been back there playing Pac-Man or whatever he playing. And no, I think it has. But you may pay attention from now on. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, but if you ain't around them, it's hard to watch. I ain't around a lot of them, but
Yeah. And we
uh,
don't have any young children in our family. Like I try to go on adults only cruises. So I'm around very little children. Other than my goddaughters. So
now I'm gonna do these
okay.
real quick, because we got 4 minutes, and I'm
Yeah, I
already
know we lost a little time with the technology too, so you're fine.
okay. Now, do you think solo cruising can be boring until you run into the right group of people?
Mm-mm. I think you have to be a certain type of person to enjoy solo cruising. Like it really is a test of you being comfortable with yourself. I was someone who I say I used to be really introverted and struggle with meeting people, and struggle with starting conversations, with people that were different from me or even like me. It would be difficult. So I think that it takes a certain person. I think you just have to be open to doing it. And if you're open to it, then you can enjoy it.
Because I was shocked in one of your videos. I forgot the two guys' name, but you met these two you call friends. They were friends for the cruise.
Yeah.
And I think you even mentioned it was kind of boring, or you thought it was going to
It
be
was
boring.
Icon, yeah. It was
Yeah,
Icon.
yeah, yeah,
It was Icon, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You
And I
know,
mean, look, and I still talk to them to this day on social media. So yeah.
yeah. It looked like y'all was having a good time, and I was like, wow. And I wondered because there was a point in my life where I thought I was going to be doing solo cruising, and I know Bill Armstrong Adventures was trying to talk me into it. YFC was trying to, and I never did it because I said, man, it was cool. If I didn't want to be bothered with people, I didn't have to. But if I did, I could. And that's what made the Meet and I cruise was the people I went with.
Right.
So I don't
Right.
know if
And
I can.
that's really one of the reasons why I started hosting group cruises, because I realized not everybody is that open. And luckily for me, like I had Sig. So Sig Cruiser was the first solo cruiser I saw when I went on my first one on Carnival Mardi Gras. And I ended up connecting with her in a Facebook group, and we messaged each other. So having her on the cruise really kind of helped me to feel a little bit more comfortable and say, well, at least I know one person on the ship. So I definitely do understand that, and that's why I've kind of ventured into hosting group cruises now. Because I saw someone did ask when my next cruise is, so I do want to answer that. My next cruise is June 11th on Virgin Voyages. I'm hosting a group. There are still spots available, so if you want to join, jump on in. But it's on Virgin Voyages, Valiant Lady, and we're going to Key West and Bimini, Bahamas.
Yeah, you really like Virgin, huh?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Adults only.
It look like you have well. So, what's your favorite cruise line? Is it Virgin?
It's Virgin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Valiant Lady is that the favorite ship?
No, Resilient is my favorite ship. So the Resilient Lady is my favorite ship. They're all very similar. Resilient just has some different shows. And the places I've been to on the Resilient make it my favorite. So
That's one thing I didn't do. I went to one show on the Meet and I cruise. Well, I went to more than one, but one of the one that was sponsored, and that was the comedy show. I just sit in the casino and watch people walk by and stagger in a couple of different fights, and I had the perfect spot.
don't be saying there was no fights on Carnival now. It wasn't no fights. Fights don't happen on Carnival. We got
Okay,
to
well,
change that narrative.
it was two people talking to each other then.
Okay, yeah, they were talking loudly. It got a little heated. There we go.
And then there was another girl trying to see if her bottle was made of glass.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. Are you still at
We ain't
Flower?
never beating the charges.
No, man, because there's always gonna be some fools. So I think it's cool, man. I feel right at home.
I think they get a very unfair rep, though. I will say that when it comes to Carnival, because I mean, I'm somebody who I'm so off to the side. Like I never see any of this stuff that happens, but I've seen the video, so it does. But
Yeah, I
it can
saw
happen
it.
anywhere.
But it could happen anywhere. I'm not. I'd still go on Carnival. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't stop. Now, you have a master's degree, right,
I do.
in sports management.
Mm-hmm. I don't
Do
know how
you?
you found that, but yeah, that's deep. That's deep somewhere. That's something I never talk about.
You see all these trophies up here, girl?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I had to watch a lot of JennDanielle, but I said earlier today, I said, man, I can't watch no more. I can't do it because I've been just playing the videos. I can't do it. I'm giving this 30
Needing
more
to add
minutes.
money, appreciate you.
Yeah, and then I was liking them, so I got to go back and comment because I was watching on my TV, and
Yeah.
so I got to go. But I was liking them all, and I got a matter of fact, I'll do that in a minute. But and you're doing. Do you ever see yourself going back to or following a career in sports management?
No, I don't. And it's so funny that you brought that up because I realized like I'm doing everything that I ever wanted to do. So I was on the marketing side, and what I liked more was getting to be behind the scenes in the arenas and putting together marketing plans. And I didn't realize that all that is exactly what I do. I just do it on a grander scale where it's everything for me. So I don't foresee me going back that industry. It was fun when I was doing it, but it's an industry where you have to move a lot. You really aren't on your own terms. So sports marketing professionals usually stay at a school or work for a team a year or two max until you get to the director side. So it's a lot of moving, a lot of instability. So I don't foresee me going back to that.
Okay. And oh, you're a full-time content creator, right?
I am. Yeah,
That's all you do.
that's it.
You don't be
Well, content
staying.
creating and travel agent and everything travel. So yeah, all of it's full time.
I ain't doing something right then.
You are. You just don't realize you are. It takes a minute. It's definitely not easy. I tell anybody like it can be done. And for me, I'm very different, and I don't speak on a lot because I'm not someone who is just set on being a full time creator. Like for the right position, I would go back into corporate, like I in a heartbeat. But it has to be the right position, and it has to be something now that can be done with this. So
And people don't understand when I take a break because really, like right now, there's three rods. There's the Points Blank Experience rod, the PBT rod, and the Investing with rod. That's a lot, man.
yeah.
And I it's one of the biggest mistakes I think I made. But I'm like all these full-time content creators. You traveling every other week, and
It just appears that way. When I work, and that's the thing that I think a lot of people like, the biggest misconception people have when I'm traveling, I'm working, I am working. Like the MSC series, that was the first time I actually said, like, I work, because for that was a 3-day cruise. And even though like they invited me out and I worked with them, I had certain guidelines that I had to hit for them. But for my own channel, I had to create the YouTube. So it was a lot of days of getting up at 2 a.m. to record while nobody was around the ship. Matter of fact, every day. So I was sleeping 3 hours a day. So for me, I created 6 videos while I was on that ship. So it looks like I've been traveling, but it's just staggered when it comes out. So that's one of the things I'll say for the past 5 years that has been my biggest mistake, but I don't regret doing it, is I was not having fun. I was working. So now I finally gotten to a place where I'm able to do a little bit more of what I like to do and take some free time because I like to be at home, believe it or not. So like this month that I'm going to be home before my next group trip, I'm loving. So yeah.
well, your videos just look like you be having fun to me. I mean,
I do, and I don't want to say it like I don't have fun, but it's a lot of work. Like a lot of times, I was just looking like when I come home from a trip, I have like 3,000 photos and videos per trip. So it's insane the amount of content that I capture. So the whole it's a lot of times I have to be like, okay, I'm gonna sit the phone down there and actually take in what I'm doing. So it's just trying to balancing act with it, but.
now, my next question, where is a place that you've never been to that you would like to go,
Mm-hmm.
domestically or internationally, not on a cruise, not no 4 hours and you got to be back, but for 4 days, one place, 4 days.
I would love to go back to LA because I have just been that one time that was during the pandemic. I would love to go to LA. I am such a domestic traveler. Like I love traveling in the US. Houston, I would love to spend 4 days. I just did a day trip there, 48 hours there last year. Like anywhere really.
Jen,
I
that's
know,
why
I know
I take
it's
the
so
glasses
crazy.
off.
I've been all the way, and I'm like, I haven't been to LA.
Only on the Points Blank Experience would somebody say they want to go to LA and they can go anywhere in the world.
You said domestically, okay?
No,
Anywhere
I
is
said domestically or
or
internationally.
okay. So my domestic would be
All
LA.
right, so we got to get to the race. I was wondering.
Okay, all right. And as far as but that's hard too because I don't. My only bucket list place was Greece, and now that I've been, I don't know. I like St. Lucia a lot. I don't know a lot of places. Like when I tell you I am a new traveler, I am a new traveler. And so maybe Barcelona. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Barcelona.
See, I like that. And see, even while I love to motivate, who's from LA, said LA, and
The
I
air
lived in
in
LA.
LA just feels different. Like it just, I don't know. It was just something about the breeze, the smell. Like I went to Santa Monica Pier, loved it. I've been to San Diego once, but it's just something about Cali. I love California.
I
I would
spent
live there, but I love it.
I spent 17 years there, and while I love to motivate, recently moved from there. I loved it.
Really?
I would pick as where I am now in life. I would pick San Diego over LA. But when I was a youngster, I went to Santa Monica Pier, Redondo Beach, and all that. I wanted to go to Crenshaw, the swap meets. I wanted to hang out with the homies. I mean, I'm rocking the Dub right now. I mean, so you couldn't tell me I wasn't from California.
Yeah.
I mean, but so Barcelona.
There's so many gyms here in the US though. Like I really want to do some US travel. That's probably what I'll do the end of this year is hit a lot of US places.
You know, one thing about Santorini, why everywhere look the same? Like everybody look like they stay at the same place, some white buildings, and then they take the pictures with the flowing gowns or whatever y'all call it.
Well, that's kind of a big thing to do there. There's something I can't remember what the history was with the white buildings, but there's something to it. I know that it's part of the religion, but there's some reason why they have to have those buildings. I can't remember if it's the climate or what it is, but yeah, Santorini is beautiful.
I think everybody on the planet, well, everybody in America, should go to see some unbelievable stuff that you never think you'll see. Dubai.
You know, I just had this conversation with somebody. I'm not a long flight person, so Dubai probably will never. I have no desire to go to Dubai or to Africa because I'm not flying that long.
I'm the same way. I went with the Navy. It took us.
I can't do it.
Well, it took us 40 some days to get there. Now 30 some days to get there. But we were cruising, I guess. But on a flight, I can't fly no 18, 20 hours.
I heard it's beautiful, but yeah, I would go crazy. Yeah, I can't do that.
While Loves and Motivate says she got a travel map, I want to visit all the states here.
That would be cool.
Work to live, not live to work is doing that. There's some states I don't care about. I mean, I
want to see every basketball arena. So I'm a big NBA fan, so I would like to go to every NBA arena. So that would probably be how I would hit multiple states.
Did you play basketball?
I didn't. Look, I have the height for it, but I was never athletic. So.
I was going to ask you, how tall are you? I know you don't ask a woman's weight, and I Googled.
I'm 5'9".
Hey.
Yeah.
You up there with me 5'11". They don't call me short, man. Y'all just tall. And so, what advice? You got a young lady that's just getting out of high school, not sure what she wants to do. What advice, having master degrees, you're a successful businesswoman, you're a traveler, a world traveler, what advice would you give to a young person that's just entering adulthood?
I would say, it's funny. I think about this when it comes to like the next generation. Like, what do you tell them when it comes to going to school and all of that? Because the world is so different. And like I said, I've seen both sides of it. But I would say, to take every opportunity to step outside of your comfort zone. I think leaving your home is something amazing, your hometown. Because it's something powerful about having to make your own decisions and having the opportunity to choose what you want to do without anybody else's influence. So I would say to do that, and just live. Just know anything that you do pretty much can be undone, or you're gonna make mistakes. Like nobody's perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, but usually there's a way that you can recover from it or work through it. So just keep living. Like that's what my mom and my grandma, one of their favorite quotes is, just keep living. And that's what I would just say is just keep going. Like you're not gonna hit every timeline that you have for yourself. You're not gonna hit every goal you have for yourself, but just be willing to try something and make mistakes early so that you aren't sitting back and saying what if and wishing you would have done things. I
like that. Just and life is short, man. I'm telling y'all firsthand, life is short.
It goes quick.
You could think you cool. I thought I was cool. I'm all right. I go to the doctor. They disagree. They disagree with me. Dr. Rod got all his credentials taken. So.
Yeah.
You gotta live. I got 3 more questions, y'all. The 2 of them gonna be super quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I got more than 3, but I'm only gonna ask 3. What is up with this song that you sing? Time is slipping away. What's up with that song?
So that is it trends on TikTok, but it's from when Casey and JoJo were on what were they on? What is that? Tom Joyner's morning show. So they had a 5 a.m. show and they had to sing the song Life. And if you listen to it, they slug it. They slug it pretty funny. So now
Okay.
every time, like the time is later in the day than I expect, I sing time is slipping away from me. And everybody around me knows I do it, and it's annoying. So, like, if they ask what time it is, I'll start singing it. So
Wow. So I heard the
you
song. I
have to look
said,
it up. Look it up on TikTok.
"Oh,
Casey
I
and
am. You have. I am. Don't worry."
JoJo. Look
Okay,
it up and tell me what you think of it. You will not get it out your head.
man. I'm already tripping off a whole lot of people on TikTok, not TikTok, Instagram. They be having me cracking up, boy.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I got two more questions, y'all. If y'all got any questions, it's the last call. I ain't gonna be asking you about hobbies because that's traveling. Uh,
That
uh,
was shady. But you're right.
what is the most challenging thing you've ever had to do?
Ooh, most challenging. Probably this. Yeah. This travel world, being an entrepreneur is the most challenging thing I've ever done. And especially this year has been tough. It's always something that comes up. Um, you think when you're at a 9 to 5, like I was kind of in that space where everybody was like, "Oh, leave your 9 to 5, don't work for the man," and you had all those messages going around about generational wealth and everything. But I would tell anybody who wants to go into being a full-time entrepreneur, it is one of the most difficult things you will ever do. You will have to make a lot of sacrifices. Hopefully it's worth it in the end. I mean, I'm not at the end yet, so I can't tell you. But just the way that you have to lean on faith and make judgment decisions, and you take the responsibility for anything, whether it goes right or wrong. This is the hardest thing I have ever done, for sure.
I agree with you. Getting PBT monetized was tough.
Mm-hmm.
Doing a second, third, and fourth channel is even tougher because at least me, I compare everything else I do to PBT.
Right.
It doesn't quite work like that. However, piggybacking that question I just asked Jen, she mentioned generational wealth. And I hear so many people talk about it. So many people talk about generational wealth. I guess it's the cool thing to say in 2024 and 25.
Oh.
I asked three brothers today, ranging from probably 20 to 35, in the parking lot at Kroger. I stood out there like I was begging for change. They tried to avoid me, but they couldn't get away because I lost a little weight. So I'm a little quicker now. Anyway, the question I asked him, hey, what do you know about stocks, man? You know anything about stock? No, bro. I say, I ain't here to rob you, man. I got my car, I had my Genesis out there. He's like, oh, okay. No, man. Ask another dude. No, man. Kind of wanted to learn. Ask another brother. No, man. How in the hell can we get generational wealth? How can we get anything that we don't know anything about?
No.
I just don't. I did a live stream last night that had a max of 4 people in there. Then I went to the queen, I'm not the queen, the prince, whatever his name is, Harry or Johnny or whatever his name is, the Prince of England. 125 people watching that live.
Yeah. I think a lot of people throw around terms, and I think that beyond, like, money is so important. It is everything. It's the key to everything. But I think there are a lot of other generational things, like being the first entrepreneur in your family is a big deal too.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, I'm the first. Well, my siblings, we're all kind of dabbling in some form of entrepreneurship. So we're the first generation, and trying to figure that out, I think that it's extremely important too. A lot of people focus so much on one aspect, but when it comes to just like the mindset and the shift that has to happen, because like kind of like you brought up, I have a master's. I do not talk about my master's. I don't technically use it. I will say, like, some of the skills that I gained, like it was worth it to get it, but I don't technically use that master's, and it was not cheap. I'm still paying on it. So, it's just something where we have to just continue to learn and continue to build in all areas and learn as much as we can. Like, just don't stop learning every area you can. When somebody holds a free webinar or free thing, like I'm in so many webinars during the week too. That's one thing that people probably don't know about me. When you talk about hobbies, like a lot of that for me, when somebody's giving out free information, now you have to sift through some stuff because a lot of people are just spewing out stuff they don't know too. But when someone's giving out information, I'm jumping on and I'm at least listening, and doing further research to make sure I understand it.
You bring up a great point, and I say on all my channels except this one. I'm gonna sit on this one going forward. 30 minutes a day, man. You learn one thing a day. I'll tell you my routine. I get up, I thank God for waking me up. I make a text to let someone know that I'm up. And then I look at my analytics for YouTube. And then I turn on the TV, get my phone, I look at my stocks, and I turn on a bunch of people I ain't never heard of talking about investing. I don't care what color, it can be purple. I don't care. Because they're going to say something that I probably never heard.
Yeah.
I may never say it in one of my videos, but I'm going to have the knowledge. And I think, man, you just brought up a great point, Jen. That just webinars. I ain't even got to that point. I got to put that in my
yeah,
thing.
I mean, that's the biggest thing for any content creator. And like when I tell people, like I try to be very strategic and very careful with what I say about being a full-time creator, because I had a very unique experience in going into this. I made the jump when I felt like I needed to make the jump, but years before I got into this, I would get up at 5 a.m. and be on YouTube watching the morning meetup, watching any type of investing thing, just watching different things that are free, programs that are available. I spent a lot of money on courses from people. So I've always been somebody who has believed in self-education and what's out there, what we have access to. So that's why I kind of go into your question about the technology. I don't know if necessarily it's a full bad thing, that so many kids have turned to it, because I can see the positive of it. But just like with anything, people can turn it however they need to. But, just make sure that you keep learning. Like when someone's giving information and giving gems, are willing to answer questions, like take that time. I have people that ask me all the time for like, can I get on a call with you and ask questions? Now, a price is going to be with that depending on the level of questions that you're asking. However, a lot of times people miss the call. Like I make time for them and they don't jump on the call. They don't take the advice, or, they say, can they ask me a question? I say, yeah. And they don't get back with me. And I'm surprised at that. But I think a lot of it is what you don't invest into. You don't see the seriousness and you don't understand. You're not serious. You're not serious about learning the information. Sometimes you don't have to put $1 behind it.
So let me make sure I understand what you just said. What you've been telling us, you have people that call you and pay you to tell them what you've been telling us?
Yeah.
Do y'all hear that? I ain't gonna say only, but on the Point Blank experience, I am blessed to be able to reach out to greatness and ask them to be on the show, and they say yes. And then the people that are here, the people that are going to watch the replay, are getting so much knowledge that individuals usually pay for it. I'm just saying. And I super duper salute you. I got to salute you with both hands. I don't know if that's, I don't think nobody ever did that, but that, like Etta just said, thank you, Jennifer. That, I've seen some great questions in here. I've seen some great comments. I think I told a few. Do you have any sponsorships that you want to tell the people about?
Sponsorships. Only thing would be my group cruises that are coming up. So that's really the biggest way you can support me is by coming to hang with me on a cruise. So I have the June one, which is right around the corner right now. But my big group cruise for the year is Friendsgiving. So I put it together every November. Just really as a way for women to come together and, celebrate the holiday, just celebrate friendship. and to just come have a good time. So if you're someone who is fearful of solo travel, that's the perfect opportunity. You have me there. I have repeat people now. This is my 3rd year hosting. So that's kind of my biggest things right now. And 2026 will be announced soon. So
y'all heard it here. Biggest way to support her is go on one of her cruises. So hey, y'all heard it. Now, my last question.
mm-hmm.
Has this been an experience?
It has. It has. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this conversation. It's a little different. I like that you asked the surprise questions. I was a little worried. I normally don't let people just ask me surprise questions, but I like this format. So thank you for what you do. And I had an opportunity to check out your channel as well. And I know that you're putting in work, and I cannot imagine running as many channels as you run. I struggle with the one. So
it's because I cheat a little bit. I when I get tired, I just forget it. I ain't doing nothing, and I ain't doing none of the creating it. Y'all, the YFC.
Sometimes it's like that. I ghost all the time. I'm trying to get better. I've been better about it, but yeah.
I looked at one of Why Loves to Motivate shorts. I'm like, how does she do that? I've been doing this for 5 years. I don't know how to do that. But y'all better look out. I'm learning. But hey, y'all, any closing comments you want to say to the people?
I just want to thank you guys. I know a couple of people I recognize here that are creators also. I just want to tell you, keep going. Just keep trying things. I know we had the question that came up about the niche. It's okay if you don't know your niche. Your niche is going to find you as long as you keep creating. So, keep doing it. And if nothing else, it'll be something that you'll be able to look back on, and you'll be so proud that you started it. I know for me, my channel is one of the things I really take pride in. I'm really funny about getting awards and things, and I'm a little bit I don't really like the spotlight on me, believe it or not. But being able to look at my channel and look back at where I came from, like now I'm gonna have to go back and watch that LA video since we talked about it, because I haven't seen it in a minute. So that's one of the most proud things that I've been able to do. So if that's something that you want to get into, just start doing it. Just start. It'll get easier. It is tough in the beginning. Don't think that it's just you and that you're just struggling. It's a tough thing to do. It's so many different parts you have to manage, but you can do it.
And piggybacking that, don't be scared.
Mm-hmm.
I can guarantee you the majority of the people that have YouTube channels now, semi-successful, totally successful, we were all scared at one point.
And I won't even say don't be scared. I say do it scared. I'm scared every day. Every day. Look, I am the most emotional when I'm walking into an opportunity. This MSC thing, I'm always worried that something is going to flop. I'm always going through I am an emotional mess. I told y'all I'm a Cancer. Like, that's why I say I believe in zodiac signs. I am an emotional mess before any big opportunity. So, do it scared. That's all you don't have any other choice. You gotta still do it.
I like that. So do it scared. Maybe I need to get scared because I need my revenue to go up a little bit. I need to have a boogeyman behind me or something.
But that's all you have coming in. You can be real scared, and you better get on camera.
Man, I can't do a video. I'd rather do it live and pray I don't mess up than to go in there and edit a video. And my edit is just throwing a couple of credit cards up there. It ain't nothing like y'all be doing. I just found out what a B-roll was watching your video because I refused to ask Anwar and have him tease me in his Saturday Night Live. Oh. And I wasn't going to ask Big Dre because I know he was going to tease me. And I could have asked Shelton. I think Shelton told me, but I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, Why Loves to Motivate says this was good. Your favorite couple says great live streamers. And I want to thank your favorite couple, part of the Alliance, and Why Loves to Motivate, part of the Point Blank Network executive team, for being here. Nobody acted up. We did have some technical difficulties, and we are practicing what we preached. We didn't stop the live stream. I thought about it. I thought about rescheduling, but we pushed on. We pushed forward, and now we're seeing this was good. Great live stream. Great conversation. What if we would have said, let's do it later, and later never happened?
Yeah.
Later could never happen. So y'all think about that. Tonight, y'all, my closing comments, we have witnessed greatness. I heard a couple of good things here tonight. And Let me look here. Greece is beautiful. Before I got on YouTube, I did not know any black person that had been to Greece. No.
I didn't know any either.
Not everybody going to Greece. So this is what we can do it. We can do it. Don't let nobody tell you got to stay in Buckshot County. You can't leave Pecanville, Mississippi. Well, I ain't gonna say no state. You can't leave Pecanville. You can't leave Buckshot. This is where you're supposed to be. No, live your life. You only got one. You only got one, and you don't know when the movie is going to end. I'm just saying, real talk with Rod is slipping in. But let me get through this here. St. Lucia's is amazing. I've never been. I joined the Navy just to go to England and the Bahamas. I never went to England. I went to the Bahamas and was totally disappointed on the Mediadoc cruise. And right here, this is the quote of the night. Hashtag just keep living.
I love it.
Just keep living. With that being said, y'all, you have witnessed greatness. Do me a favor. Please check out the JennDanielle Experience, because her YouTube channel is more than a channel as well. It's also an experience. I still have several videos to watch and comments to make. So it has been an honor. If you could give me a second, because I did want to ask you something here, but I ain't. I'm going to ask you just in case you tell me no. But anyway, y'all, thank you for everybody that's been in here tonight. Thank you for all the wonderful questions, the comments, and thank y'all for sticking around through the technical difficulties. Stay tuned. I only bring the best of the best. In this year, 2025, season 3, I'm trying to bring all new people. We ain't going backwards, baby. Only time I go backwards is when I put my car in reverse. Other than that, it's full steam ahead. With that being said, much love, y'all. Peace.
Thank you.